It's important that we don't flush wipes, even if they're labeled flushable, for a number of reasons. Number one, our sewer system is designed to handle really just our personal contributions and water. When you flush anything else, like these wipes, they're not made to break down like regular toilet paper is. And they end up staying in the sanitary sewer system. They can get clogged in your pipes, which can cause a backup in your home, or further down the line, they can clog the pipes in our municipal system, getting caught in the system that is used to carry that wastewater away to a treatment facility where it's cleaned. Those backups can cause sewer overflows in the street, and that sewage can get into our local waterways, and that's really an important environmental health risk. So the best thing that we can do as residents is keep those wipes and other items like dental floss, cotton swabs, hygiene, personal hygiene products. Those items go in the trash. We only flush our personal contributions.
Tell me about the SWAP program.
So SWAP is a new program that the Virginia Department of Health just implemented, I believe, in January of this year. It is coming from ARPA funds, so the American Rescue Act. We were provided $11.5 million for the entire state. So what that program is to help low-income families replace any failing wells or any septic systems. So there are general requirements to meet, and it's about 200% at or above that 200% federal poverty level for those guidance. But they can reach out to the local health department. I'm the point of contact for that program, so they'll be working directly with me.
So someone was of a lower income, then they could reach out, say, for instance, because that would be important. Drinking water, of course, it is for like drinking and cooking and things like that.
Yeah, so there are huge public health hazards.
Absolutely.
With no lack of water or filling systems.
So what type of testing is required and how frequent?
Okay, so for drinking waters, the only testing that is required by the Virginia Department of Health is a bacteriological test during the actual drilling process. So once the well is drilled, they get a water sample, send it out to a licensed, certified, accredited lab, and then from there, that's the only testing that is actually required. However, Chesapeake Health Department and the Virginia Department of Health, we recommend at least getting your well tested annually for nitrate and bacteria.
That's what I was going to ask you, what do you recommend? Because if someone uses that on a daily basis, it's not really, I don't know if regulated is the best way to say it, but as opposed to city water, that's being treated and all of that.
Correct. So the chance of contamination getting into a well, it's a very slow process. So as long as a citizen gets a baseline on their own, every couple of years or so, they can get a reevaluation of that well. But at least annually is recommended for bacteria and nitrate.
Let's talk first about water bills. It seems like every August, September, October, we get calls from customers, why has my water bill gone up? Well, there's several reasons for that. We got those calls this last year. There was no rate change, there was no rate increase. So any increase in the bills this last year wasn't due to anything external. In the summertime, it's hot. People use more water when it's hot. So the consumption goes up for a lot of different reasons, one of them because it's hot. Secondly, in the summertime, in a normal year, this hasn't been, but in a normal year, kids are home from school and they use more water, they play more outside, they do just more stuff. You don't see very many people washing their cars outside in January, but in August, you sure do. Some people water plants. My wife puts plants out around the pool, and she uses water to water the plants. And I mentioned a pool. If you have a pool, you're probably using it in the summertime. The kids splash a lot. We use ours regularly. We use water occasionally to fill the pool. We clean the filter. So there's a lot more water usage in your normal residential just demand in the summertime than there is in the winter. We typically see in Chesapeake, in areas that do not have any irrigation from their water from the city water system, a 20% increase in consumption during the summertime. So that's why water bills tend to be higher in August, September, October, the bill time period that covers the higher demand summer usage, which really runs from June through September, because that's when we have our hottest period. 20% increase in demand, therefore there's a corresponding 20% increase in the water bills. Now, if we have a really hot summer or have a drought, that's even higher. It'll be closer to 30-35% higher. If we have a really rainy summer, it's a little lower. But the water consumed in the summertime is just, there's more of it being used.
Water, water everywhere. And if you live in Chesapeake, it comes straight to you, clean and delicious. That's all thanks to the folks who work in here. We're at the Northwest River Water Treatment Plant, and we're about to learn how they clean our water. I'm here with Billy Fentress, who is the chief operator here at the water treatment plant, and we are at stage number 1. So Billy, the stuff behind us is coming right in from the river, is that correct?
That is correct. This is where the raw water enters our building. This is actually called our rapid mix train area. The raw water comes in. We are adding alum and we're adding caustic in this room here. It's the first stages of our treatment. Okay. This is where we're beginning the stage for flocculation.
Okay, stop. Flocculation. That's a big word, but one you will hear throughout this report. It's the process where chemicals are added to the water supply when it first enters the plant. These chemicals bond together and give microscopic sediments and minerals in the water something to stick to so that they can be easily removed. And this is where it all takes place, the sedimentation basins. Billy, you didn't tell me that you guys had swimming pools back here. What am I looking at?
All right, these are our sedimentation basins. This is actually the beginning of the process where we're removing the organics and the solids from the river water. The water is coming in and it goes through these 4 zones of flocculation. We're starting with what looks like river water. At the very end of this, we're clearing a lot of it up. It's taking all the color out. Okay. Not all the color, but it's taking a lot of the color out and a lot of the solids.
Okay. After the sediment and organics are removed, the water then moves through a series of filters where it continues to get prepped for drinking. It eventually makes its way to the reverse osmosis train, where it's forced through a series of tubes at high pressure. This state-of-the-art purification system was brought online in 1998 to take care of that salty taste in the water that you may remember from decades ago. So this is actually an example of what is in these tubes, right?
That's right. This is an example of an element that's inside. There's 7 of these elements inside each vessel. This is what it is. This is what the actual reverse osmosis element is. And as you see, you can take this coupling off. These are spiral wound.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the water is actually flowing through these layered spiral wound membranes, and the good water is pushed through to the center.
And from here, the water gets stored in this 2 million gallon holding tank. So now if you don't mind, let's head inside, because from what I've learned already, there's actually a human, somebody testing the water all along the way, even though you're already going through all of these awesome processes.
That's right. Through every step of the way, we've got to continue to monitor the processes to make sure our water stays in the right conditions throughout the entire facility.
All right, let's go get some science on in the lab. So now that we know the whole process, I'm heading into the lab. We're gonna get a little scientific here. Got to put all my safety gear on first. We're gonna find out about all the ways they test the water throughout the entire process we just learned. So this is Ryan Maslin, and you have some stuff started for us, but maybe you can give us a quick overview of what the lab does.
Of course, the laboratory, we test the drinking water, of course, the finished water out in the systems, basically people's houses, businesses, restaurants, all over the place, just to make sure that we're removing everything that needs to be removed, make sure that you have clear, clean water at the end of the day. That's it, not only aesthetically pleasing, but safe to drink.
So you guys are constantly testing it?
All the time, all day, every day.
Okay. Well, let's start with one of your tests. Let me help you out a little bit.
All right, let's see if there's any hardness.
We started with the hardness test, and we'll tell you why they check for this in just a second. But to begin, I added several drops of a Calmagite indicator and a hardness buffer to a water sample. A titrant solution is then introduced, and through a chemical analysis, the hardness of the water is revealed. The values gained from this tell us that the right amount of purification chemicals are being added in the main plant, and it's all about the color blue.
This blue color with this very little bit of chemical use shows that we don't have any hardness issues in our water. Makes your dishwashers and washing machines last that much longer.
It's better for hair too. Ryan, this is just one of many different tests that you guys do here. How often are you testing the water?
We're testing the water at least every 4 hours, which equates to about 326,000 analyses every year.
Wow.
So basically, day, night, 24/7, we're here making sure that you have not only clear water, but you have safe water that meets all the federal and state regulations.
Keeping a close eye on the quality of our water here in Chesapeake.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'm going to go and check out some of those other tests then. I caught up with senior chemist Nikki Webb, who is one of several chemists who perform daily tests on our water. She was in the middle of jar testing, which replicates the larger process we saw in progress out in the plant. So now, like you said, this is similar. This is just a small version of what we saw already.
Yes.
The big.
So what I'm going to show you guys is rapid mix,
Okay.
coagulation, and flocculation. So we're going to add alum sulfate, we're going to add sodium hydroxide, and we're going to add polymer. And we're going to basically create flock.
For all of you who forgot what you learned in science class like I did, block is actually a combination of bacteria and the small particulates that we're trying to take out of the water, and they clump together and form this fluffy stuff that settles out of the water.
And then we're going to test the color and the turbidity and see if our alum dosage in the water treatment plant is best for optimal treatment.
So this is all a way, you're using the same chemicals as you use outside, but this is a way for you to find out how much you need.
Yes.
Because the water constantly changes?
Exactly.
What's next?
So now that we're finished, I think I'm going to recommend a dosage, an alum dosage of 210. So what I'll do is I'll get with my administrator and see if he agrees, and we'll go back into the control room and set the dosage at 210.
Okay. Great work, Nikki. Thank you.
Thank you.
There are several other chemists at our water treatment plants, including a bacteriologist who is not confined to the walls of the plant. So you guys don't just test the water on site, but you actually go out to where it's coming out of faucets and you test it there too, is that right?
Yes, we actually go out into the distribution system and we collect 180 samples, and we collect them from businesses, public buildings, restaurants, and houses. And this is all for the health department to ensure that the water is safe to drink.
Okay, safety is key here. So you have a couple of samples for us actually of things that you're looking for.
Yes, I have two samples here. One is a sample of water as it's being processed, and the other one is water after it's been processed.
Okay.
As you can see, the one where the water is being processed, all the green colonies, those are coliform and they're bad. And we add chloramines to the water to remove this.
Okay.
And then here is a sample after the chloramine's been added, and you can see there's nothing there.
Looks like nothing.
Completely
Yeah,
clear.
that's good clear water.
Yes.
Great. So we've seen the whole process that they do here at the Northwest River Water Treatment Plant, and we saw they go from this to this. Nice, clean drinking water straight to your home.